moonlight and filled the air with a sweet, magical fragrance. The village thrived in harmony, and the magic of the moonlit garden brought joy and wonder to all. Leora's bravery and kindness had not only fulfilled her dream but had also enriched the lives of everyone in Bramblewood. And so, the moonlit garden's magic lived on, a cherished legacy of a brave girl who dared to follow her dreams and share its wonders with the world. In the heart of a lush and magical forest, there lay a small village known as Starhaven. The villagers were renowned for their nightly tradition of stargazing, believing that the stars were alive and could speak to those who listened closely. They called this practice star whispering, and it was believed to bring guidance and wisdom. In this village lived a curious young girl named Lila. She had always been fascinated by the stars and spent many nights gazing up at the night sky. Lila's grandmother, who was known as the village's best star whisperer, had recently fallen ill, and the village was deeply concerned. Without her grandmother's guidance, the village felt lost, and the star whispers had become faint and unclear. One evening, as her grandmother lay resting, Lila decided to take matters into her own hands. She wanted to find out why the stars had gone silent and hoped to bring back their guiding voices. With determination, she packed a small bag with essentials, a blanket, a journal, and a lantern, and set out into the forest under the light of the full moon. Lila followed a winding path through the trees, guided by the faint glow of the lantern. As she walked, she noticed that the forest seemed quieter than usual, and the stars above were barely visible through the dense canopy of leaves. After hours of walking, she arrived at an ancient stone archway covered in glowing vines. The archway was said to be the entrance to the Celestial Grove, a hidden realm where the stars were said to originate. Taking a deep breath, Lila stepped through the archway and found herself in a breathtaking grove bathed in moonlight. The Celestial Grove was filled with luminescent flowers and trees that sparkled like stars. At the center of the grove stood a grand, ancient tree with silver leaves and a trunk that seemed to hum with a magical energy. As Lila approached the tree, she noticed a shimmering figure standing beside it, a celestial being with radiant wings and a gown made of stardust. The celestial being was known as Astria, the guardian of the stars. "Welcome, brave Lila," Astria said with a voice like a gentle breeze. "You have come seeking the voices of the stars." Lila nodded, her heart full of hope. "Yes, I want to help my village. The stars have gone silent, and my grandmother, who was the village's star whisperer, is ill. How can I bring back their guidance?" Astria's eyes sparkled with understanding. "The stars have grown silent because the balance between their realm and the mortal world has been disrupted. To restore their voices, you must undertake a journey to collect 3 stardust crystals that hold the essence of the stars. Only then can you restore their harmony." Lila listened intently. "Where can I find these crystals?" Astria pointed to 3 distinct locations in the grove. "The first crystal can be found at the Fountain of Dreams, the second at the Echoing Caves, and the third at the Peak of Light. Each place holds a challenge that you must overcome to obtain the crystal." With a determined spirit, Lila set off on her quest. Her first destination was the Fountain of Dreams, a magical spring filled with sparkling water. To obtain the crystal, Lila had to navigate a series of floating, glowing platforms. Using her agility and quick thinking, she leaped from platform to platform and retrieved the first crystal from the fountain center. Next, Lila journeyed to the Echoing Caves, where the walls shimmered with reflective surfaces. The challenge here was to solve a series of intricate puzzles that required her to use the echoes of her own voice. By listening carefully and solving the puzzles, Lila obtained the second stardust crystal. Finally, Lila made her way to the Peak of Light, a towering mountain that reached high into the sky. The climb was treacherous, but Lila's determination saw her through. At the peak, she faced a radiant guardian who tested her courage and kindness. After passing the guardian's test, Lila received the third and final crystal. With all 3 crystals in hand, Lila returned to the Celestial Grove. Astria took the crystals and combined their energies, creating a magnificent burst of stardust that filled the grove with a brilliant light. The stars above began to shine brightly once again, and their voices filled the night sky with soothing whispers. "Thank you, brave Lila," Astria said, her voice filled with gratitude. "You have restored the balance and brought back the guidance of the stars. Your village will now hear their whispers once more." Lila returned to her village, where the stars' guiding voices were clearer and more vibrant than ever. The villagers rejoiced, and Lila's grandmother soon began to recover, her wisdom and strength returning with the stars' guidance. From that day on, Lila continued to listen to the stars and share their wisdom with the village. Starhaven thrived, and the villagers always remembered the brave girl who had restored their starry voices. And so, under the guidance of the stars and the courage of a young heart, the village lived happily ever after. The Song of the Silver Willow. Once upon a time, in a tranquil land where meadows stretched far and wide and forests were dense with ancient trees, there was a small, picturesque village called Everglen. Nestled at the edge of a sparkling lake was an old willow tree known as the Silver Willow. The tree was famous for its shimmering silver leaves that glowed softly under the moonlight and its enchanting, melodious whispers carried on the breeze. In Everglen lived a kind-hearted young boy named Rowan. Rowan was known for his love of music and nature. He spent his days playing his wooden flute, which he crafted himself, and listening to the songs of the forest. He often dreamed of discovering the true magic of the Silver Willow, which was said to have the power to grant one heartfelt wish to someone pure of heart. One crisp autumn evening, as the moon began to rise, Rowan sat by the Silver Willow, playing a gentle tune on his flute. He wished more than anything to help his village, which had been struggling with a mysterious illness that affected their crops and livestock. The village's once fertile lands had become barren, and the villagers were losing hope. As Rowan played, the Silver Willow began to shimmer with a radiant light. Its leaves rustled softly, and a gentle voice emerged from the tree. "Brave and kind Rowan, you have touched the heart of the Silver Willow with your music. To restore your village's prosperity, you must embark on a quest to find the Heartstone, a magical gem that has been hidden away for centuries. But beware, for the journey will test your courage, kindness, and wisdom." Determined to help his village, Rowan accepted the quest. The Silver Willow continued, "The Heartstone is hidden in the enchanted glade, but to reach it, you must pass 3 trials. Each trial will reveal the true strength of your heart." With a heart full of resolve, Rowan set off on his quest. His first trial led him to the Whispering Marsh, a foggy swamp where eerie voices seemed to call from every direction. The challenge was to find the hidden path through the marsh, marked only by faintly glowing stones. As Rowan navigated the marsh, he heard the cries of a trapped creature. Following the sound, he found a small, golden frog caught in a net. Rowan carefully freed the frog, and it looked up at him with grateful eyes. "Thank you, kind traveler," the frog said. "You have shown great compassion. The path through the marsh will reveal itself to you." As Rowan continued, the fog cleared, and the glowing stones illuminated a safe path to the other side. He successfully completed the first trial, guided by his kindness. The second trial brought Rowan to the Cave of Echoes, where he encountered a labyrinth of twisting tunnels. The cave was filled with echoes that could confuse even the sharpest mind. To find his way, Rowan needed to solve a riddle written on the cave walls. "I have cities but no houses, I have mountains but no trees, I have water but no fish. What am I?" Rowan thought carefully and realized the answer was a map. As he spoke the answer aloud, the cave's passages shifted, revealing a clear path leading to a chamber with the next challenge. In the chamber, Rowan found a pool of water with a series of stepping stones. However, the stones were invisible. The pool's surface was calm, but the water reflected his own image. To cross the pool, Rowan had to step with confidence, trusting his instincts and the guidance of his reflection. He carefully stepped from stone to stone, using his intuition and the faint ripples in the water to guide him. Rowan reached the other side of the pool and completed the second trial, having demonstrated wisdom and trust in himself. The final trial took Rowan to the enchanted glade, where he encountered a majestic, ancient tree with a door carved into its trunk. The door had a small keyhole, and Rowan realized that the silver key he had found earlier in his journey would fit perfectly. When he inserted the key, the door opened to reveal a beautiful chamber bathed in golden light. In the center of the chamber lay the Heartstone, a radiant gem glowing with a warm, welcoming light. As Rowan approached, he felt a surge of joy and relief. The Silver Willow's voice echoed once more, "You have passed all the trials with courage, kindness, and wisdom. The Heartstone is yours to bring back to your village." Rowan took the Heartstone and returned to Everglen. As he placed the gem in the center of the village, a wave of vibrant energy spread through the land. The crops began to flourish, and the livestock regained their strength. The villagers rejoiced, and their once barren fields became lush and green once more. Rowan was celebrated as a hero, and the village of Everglen thrived. The Silver Willow's light continued to shine brightly, and its songs were heard throughout the land. Rowan's tale became a cherished legend, a testament to the power of a pure heart and the magic of helping others. And so, the village of Everglen lived happily ever after, forever grateful for the brave boy who restored their prosperity in the magical tree that had guided him on his journey. Once upon a time, in a world where magic and wonder intertwined, there was a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and lush forests. The villagers spoke of a hidden kingdom that once shone as brightly as the stars but had vanished from sight many years ago. Legend said that the kingdom could only be found by someone pure of heart and guided by a magical bridge of stardust that appeared only once every 100 years. In this village lived a kind-hearted young girl named Elara. She had always been fascinated by the tales of the Lost Kingdom, dreaming of seeing it with her own eyes. She was known for her generosity, helping anyone in need, and her ability to calm even the most troubled souls with her gentle words. One evening, as the sun set and the sky turned a deep shade of purple, Elara saw something incredible. High above, where the sky met the stars, a shimmering bridge made entirely of stardust began to form. It was ethereal and radiant, stretching from the heavens to the earth. Elara knew this was the magical bridge from the legends. Without hesitation, she decided to follow it, her heart full of hope and excitement. As she stepped onto the bridge, it sparkled beneath her feet, and the stars seemed to whisper encouragement. The journey was mesmerizing, with constellations guiding her way and galaxies twinkling like precious jewels. As she traveled along the Stardust Bridge, Elara noticed that the world below seemed to blur and transform. She floated past ancient trees, past mountains, and over vast oceans, until finally, she arrived at the entrance of a magnificent kingdom. The Lost Kingdom was unlike anything Elara had ever seen. It was a realm of shimmering towers, lush gardens, and crystal-clear lakes. The air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming flowers, and the sky above was perpetually bathed in the soft glow of twilight. But despite its beauty, the kingdom seemed eerily quiet, as if it were waiting for something. Elara ventured deeper into the kingdom, discovering that it was inhabited by magical creatures who had once lived in harmony. There were graceful unicorns, wise talking owls, and playful fairies, all of whom were now trapped in a deep slumber, under a spell of eternal sleep. At the heart of the kingdom stood a grand palace with a large, ornate door. Elara approached it, her heart pounding with anticipation. She gently pushed the door open and stepped into the grand hall, where an old, magnificent tree stood at the center. Its branches were adorned with glowing fruits that cast a soft light over the room. At the base of the tree lay a crystal-clear pool, and in its reflection, Elara saw a vision of the kingdom's former glory. The tree, she realized, was the source of the kingdom's magic and life. However, it had withered and lost its magic, and so had the entire kingdom. Elara knew that to restore the kingdom, she had to renew the magic of the tree. But the vision in the pool showed her that the key to reviving the magic was to retrieve a rare star flower that only bloomed on the highest peak of the Stardust Bridge. Determined, Elara climbed back onto the bridge and journeyed to the highest point, where she found the star flower glowing softly among the stardust. She gently picked the flower, feeling its warmth and energy infuse her being. Returning to the kingdom, Elara approached the grand tree with the star flower in hand. As she placed the flower at the base of the tree, its magic began to awaken. The tree's branches stirred, its leaves shimmered, and the once dull fruit glowed brightly. The palace and the kingdom slowly came back to life, as the magical creatures began to stir from their slumber. The creatures awoke and gathered around Alara, their eyes filled with gratitude. The unicorns pranced joyfully, the fairies danced in the air, and the talking owls hooted in delight. The kingdom was revived, more beautiful than ever before. The king and queen of the kingdom, who had been transformed into statues, came to life and thanked Alara for her bravery and kindness. "You have restored our home and revived our magic," said the queen, her eyes sparkling with tears of joy. "We are forever grateful." Alara was honored with a grand celebration, and the magical creatures of the kingdom shared their stories and knowledge with her. As a token of their appreciation, they gifted Alara a pendant containing a piece of the Stardust Bridge, ensuring that she could visit them whenever she wished. With a heart full of happiness and new friendships, Alara returned to her village. The tale of her adventure became a legend, inspiring others to believe in the magic of kindness and courage. And so, the Stardust Bridge remained a beacon of hope, connecting the worlds of magic and reality. Alara's bravery and compassion had not only restored a lost kingdom but had also reminded everyone that even the smallest acts of kindness could lead to the greatest adventures. Once upon a time, in a quaint village nestled between rolling hills and a vast, ancient forest, there was a place known as the Whispering Woods. This forest was famous for its whispering trees that could talk, but only to those with pure hearts and noble intentions. Legend spoke of a hidden treasure deep within the woods that could bring peace and prosperity to anyone who found it. In this village lived a brave young boy named Leo. Leo was known for his kindness and courage, and he often helped his neighbors with their problems. One day, news arrived that the village was facing a severe drought, and the crops were failing. The villagers were worried and desperate. Leo, determined to help, decided to venture into the Whispering Woods to find the legendary treasure that could save them. Into the forest with the first light of dawn, Leo set off on his journey, carrying only a small satchel with provisions and a sturdy walking stick. As he entered the Whispering Woods, the trees seemed to come alive with rustling leaves and soft murmurs. The forest was dense and mysterious, but Leo's heart was steady and true. As he walked deeper into the forest, he encountered a wise old owl perched on a low branch. The owl, with its large, knowing eyes, greeted Leo. "To find the treasure, you must first prove your worth by completing 3 challenges. The forest will guide you if you listen carefully." The first challenge, the enchanted stream. Leo followed the owl's advice and soon came upon a crystal-clear stream with shimmering water. The stream was magical but also very tricky. It flowed in strange patterns and seemed to change direction whenever Leo tried to follow it. On the bank of the stream, Leo found a message written in shimmering letters: "To cross the stream, you must solve the riddle of the water. What is as light as a feather, yet even the world's strongest man couldn't hold it for much longer than a minute?" Leo pondered the riddle and then smiled as he realized the answer. "Breath," he said aloud. As he spoke, the water parted, revealing a bridge made of glistening stones.
Leo crossed the stream safely, feeling encouraged by his progress. The second challenge, the singing flowers. On the other side of the stream, Leo entered a meadow filled with flowers of every color. The flowers were singing in harmony, but their melodies were tangled and chaotic. Leo noticed a beautiful melody coming from a patch of flowers that seemed to be wilting. He approached the wilting flowers and gently tended to them, watering them with the water from the stream. As he did so, the flowers began to sing more clearly, their melodies becoming harmonious once more. The singing flowers formed a path leading Leo towards a grove at the heart of the forest. The third challenge, the guardian of the grove. In the grove, Leo found an ancient, grand oak tree with a face carved into its trunk. The oak tree was known as the guardian of the grove. Its deep voice resonated through the air as it spoke: "To earn the treasure, you must demonstrate the greatest gift of all. Share something of yourself willingly and without expectation." Leo thought about this carefully.
He reached into his satchel and pulled out a simple but precious locket, a family heirloom given to him by his grandmother. It was a symbol of his family's love and sacrifice. He placed the locket at the base of the oak tree. The oak's branches rustled in approval, and the ground beneath Leo's feet began to glow with a golden light. The guardian of the grove spoke again: "You have shown true selflessness and kindness. the treasure you seek lies beyond this grove. The hidden treasure following the glowing light, Leo arrived at a hidden clearing where a magnificent chest lay in the center. The chest was adorned with intricate patterns and glowing with a warm, golden light. Leo opened the chest, revealing a radiant, crystal orb. The moment Leo touched the orb, a warm, soothing light spread across the forest. The drought in his village was instantly lifted as the orb's magic began to bring rain and restore the crops. The trees of the Whispering Woods rustled in joy, and the forest seemed to come alive with vibrant colors. Returned to the village, Leo returned to his village, carrying the crystal orb with him. As he approached, the once dry fields were now lush and green, and the villagers were filled with amazement and joy. The orb had not only restored the land but had also brought a sense of peace and unity to the village. The villagers celebrated Leo's bravery and kindness with a grand feast, and the Whispering Woods were forever grateful for the young boy who had shown such a pure heart. The legend of the Whispering Woods continued to be told for generations, reminding everyone that true treasure lies in selflessness and compassion. And so, the village flourished once more, and Leo's story became a cherished tale of hope and heroism. The Whispering Woods remained a magical place, always ready to aid those with kind hearts. The end. Once upon a time, nestled between misty hills and rolling meadows, there was a small village called Brookhaven. The village was known for its gentle folk and peaceful life, but it held a deep secret, a tale of a forgotten kingdom, a land of magic and splendor that had vanished from the world many years ago. The story spoke of an enchanted lantern that could reveal the forgotten kingdom to those with a pure heart and noble intentions. This lantern, with its intricate patterns and glowing light, was said to be hidden in the forest, awaiting someone worthy to find it and restore the kingdom's lost magic. In Brookhaven lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Arya. Arya had always been fascinated by the legends of the Forgotten Kingdom. Every evening, she would sit by the fireplace with her grandmother, listening to tales of enchanted realms and heroic quests. One stormy night, as the wind howled and rain tapped against the window, Arya found an old, dusty lantern in the attic, tucked away among forgotten trinkets. The lantern was adorned with shimmering stars and moons, and when Arya touched it, it glowed softly, casting a warm light. Remembering the tales, Arya's heart raced. Could this be the enchanted lantern from the legend? Determined to uncover the truth, Arya set off into the forest with the lantern in hand. The rain had stopped, and a silvery mist hung in the air. Guided by the lantern's soft glow, she ventured deeper into the forest than she had ever gone before. After hours of walking, Arya arrived at a clearing where the lantern's light grew brighter, revealing an ancient archway covered in ivy and moss. The archway led to a hidden path that shimmered with magical energy. Arya stepped through the archway, and the world around her seemed to change. The forest gave way to a breathtaking landscape of floating islands, glittering waterfalls, and sparkling meadows. She had found the Forgotten Kingdom. As Arya explored the kingdom, she noticed that it was both beautiful and desolate, as if time had stood still. The kingdom's magic seemed dormant, and its enchanting creatures were nowhere to be seen. At the heart of the kingdom stood a grand palace, its spires reaching towards the sky and its halls echoing with silence. Inside the palace, Arya encountered a regal figure, a queen with a crown of starlight and eyes like the night sky. The queen introduced herself as Queen Lyra, the last ruler of the Forgotten Kingdom. "Welcome, brave Arya," Queen Lyra said with a voice that was both melancholy and hopeful. "You have found our kingdom and awakened the lantern's magic. To restore our land's enchantment, you must complete 3 tasks. Each task will test your heart and spirit." Arya nodded, ready to take on the challenge. "What must I do?" Task 1, the Withered Garden. Queen Lyra led Arya to a once vibrant garden where flowers had withered and trees stood barren. The garden's magic had been lost due to a curse of sadness. To restore the garden, Arya had to plant a special seed and care for it with love and patience. She found the seed in a golden pouch and planted it in the center of the garden. With tender care, she watered it and sang to it. As she did, the garden began to bloom with vibrant colors, and the trees regained their lush foliage. Task 2, The Crystal Lake. The second task took Arya to a crystal-clear lake that had become dark and murky. The lake's magic had been clouded by a spell of sorrow. Arya discovered that the lake's waters could be cleansed by sharing a heartfelt story. She sat by the lake and recounted tales of joy, hope, and friendship from her village. As her stories flowed, the waters began to sparkle once more, reflecting the clear, radiant light of the sky. Task 3: The Enchanted Fountain. The final task brought Arya to a grand fountain in the palace courtyard. The fountain had once been a source of pure, magical water but had run dry. To restore it, Arya needed to fill it with a special elixir made from the essence of hope and dreams. She discovered that the elixir could be created by mixing moonlight with a drop of her own tears of happiness. Arya collected moonlight in a crystal vial and added a single tear. When she poured the elixir into the fountain, it began to flow with shimmering, magical water. With all tasks completed, the Forgotten Kingdom's magic was fully restored. The land came alive with vibrant colors, enchanting creatures, and a renewed sense of wonder. Queen Lyra thanked Arya for her bravery and kindness. "You have brought back the magic of our kingdom," Queen Lyra said. "As a token of our gratitude, we wish to offer you a gift." Queen Lyra presented Arya with a beautifully carved box. Inside was a magical gem that would allow Arya to visit the Forgotten Kingdom whenever she wished. The gem's light would guide her back to the land of enchantment. Arya returned to Brookhaven, her heart filled with joy and wonder. She shared the story of her adventure and the magic of the Forgotten Kingdom with her village. The enchanted lantern was placed in a special place, and the tale of Arya's bravery and the kingdom's revival became a cherished legend in Brookhaven. And so, the legend of the Enchanted Lantern and the Forgotten Kingdom lived on, a reminder that even the most hidden magic could be discovered by those with a pure heart and a spirit of adventure. The kingdom flourished once more, and its beauty was shared with the world, inspiring future generations to seek out their own wonders and embrace the magic within their hearts. Once upon a time, in a small, peaceful village nestled between rolling hills and a glistening river, there lived a boy named Oliver. Oliver wasn't like the other children in the village, who ran through the fields and played games. Instead, Oliver had a deep love for music. He would spend hours sitting by the river, listening to the gentle hum of the water as if it were singing him a secret melody. Oliver's parents, though loving, were farmers and did not understand his fascination with music. They worried he might never take to farming like them, but they couldn't deny that when Oliver sang or played on his makeshift flute, there was a magic to his music that made even the busiest of villagers stop and listen. One day, an old traveler came to the village. His clothes were tattered, and his shoes were worn, but his eyes sparkled with wisdom. He carried with him an old violin, covered in scratches but with strings that seemed to glow faintly in the sunlight. The villagers, intrigued by the traveler's strange aura, gathered around him in the square. The traveler looked at the crowd and, without a word, began to play. The moment his bow touched the strings, the air was filled with the most enchanting music anyone had ever heard. Birds stopped flying mid-air, the wind seemed to still, and even the river, usually so loud, grew quiet to listen. The villagers were mesmerized, and when the music ended, they erupted into applause. Oliver was particularly captivated. He had never heard anything so beautiful, and it felt as though the music had unlocked something deep inside him. He approached the traveler shyly and asked, "How do you make music like that?" The old man looked at Oliver with a kind smile. "This violin is no ordinary instrument, young one. It is enchanted, and its music has the power to touch the heart and soul. But it is not the violin alone that creates the magic, it is the heart of the one who plays it." Oliver's eyes widened. "Could I learn to play it?" The traveler's gaze softened. "Perhaps you could. But playing the enchanted violin requires more than just skill. It requires understanding the magic within yourself. If you wish, I can lend you the violin for 3 nights. If, by the end of that time, you can master its magic, it will be yours. But be warned, many have tried, and few have succeeded." Oliver's heart fluttered with excitement. He agreed, and the traveler handed him the violin before disappearing into the forest. With trembling hands, Oliver returned to his house and sat by the river, ready to play. At first, when he drew the bow across the strings, the violin made only faint, shaky sounds. No magic emerged, and Oliver's heart sank. He practiced late into the night, but no matter how hard he tried, the music remained flat and lifeless. Exhausted, Oliver fell asleep beside the river, the violin resting in his lap. That night, he had a dream. In the dream, he stood in the middle of the village square, but everything was different. The trees glowed with soft golden light, and the river shimmered as if made of stars. A figure appeared, a woman with flowing silver hair and a voice like a lullaby. "The music you seek is not in the strings," she said, her voice echoing like wine through the trees. "It lies within your heart. You must let go of your doubts and fears and play not for yourself, but for others." When Oliver awoke, the dream lingered in his mind. He realized that he had been focusing so much on playing perfectly that he had forgotten why he loved music in the first place. It was the joy it brought others, the way it made people smile, that made it special. The next night, instead of practicing alone, Oliver went to the village square. The villagers, curious to see what he would do, gathered around. With trembling hands, he lifted the violin and began to play. But this time, instead of focusing on the notes, he played from his heart. As he played, something incredible happened. The violin strings began to glow softly, just as they had when the traveler played. The music filled the air, but it was different now, gentler, warmer, and more beautiful than anyone had ever heard. The villagers were enchanted, their worries melting away as the melody swirled around them like a soft breeze. Oliver closed his eyes and let the music flow, and in that moment, he felt a connection not just to the violin, but to everything around him, the trees, the river, the sky, and most importantly, the people who were listening. When the final note echoed through the square, there was a deep silence, followed by the sound of joyful cheers and applause. For the next 2 nights, Oliver continued to play for the village, and with each performance, the magic of the violin grew stronger. The crops flourished, the river seemed to sparkle more brightly, and the village was filled with laughter and song. On the 3rd night, as the last note faded into the starry sky, the old traveler returned. "You have done well, young one," the traveler said, his eyes twinkling with pride. "You have unlocked the magic of the violin. It is yours now, for you have learned that true music comes not from the strings, but from the heart." Oliver bowed deeply, grateful for the gift. The traveler smiled, then disappeared into the night, leaving behind only the faint sound of music carried on the wind. From that day on, Oliver became known throughout the land as the boy with the enchanted violin. He traveled from village to village, bringing joy and light to all who heard his music. And though many tried to play the enchanted violin, only Oliver could unlock its magic, for he had learned the secret: music that touches the heart is the greatest magic of all. And so, the sound of the enchanted violin filled the air for many years, reminding everyone that sometimes, the most powerful magic is found in the simplest of things: a kind heart and a song played with love. Once upon a time, in a quaint village surrounded by rolling hills and blooming meadows, there was a hidden garden that few had ever seen. This garden, known only as the Moonlit Garden, was shrouded in mystery and said to be enchanted. Legends spoke of its beauty, which could only be witnessed by those who were kind and true of heart. The garden was bathed in moonlight every night, even when the moon was hidden by clouds, and it was said to hold a magical melody that could heal the heart and bring peace to the world. In this village lived a young girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her gentle nature and her love of music. Her grandmother had once told her stories about the moonlit garden and its magical melody, and Lyra had always dreamed of visiting it. Her dream was fueled by a deep desire to find a way to help her ailing mother, who had been bedridden for many months. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle, Lyra decided it was time to embark on her quest. She packed a small bag with essentials: a journal, a pencil, a few pieces of bread, and a bottle of water. Her grandmother's tales had given her hope, and she believed that if she could find the moonlit garden, she might discover the melody that could heal her mother. Lyra followed the old map her grandmother had drawn years ago, which led her to the edge of the forest surrounding the village. As she ventured deeper into the forest, the path grew darker, but the moonlight seemed to guide her steps. After a few hours of walking, she came across a shimmering pool of water that reflected the light of the moon. Beside the pool was a large, ancient tree with silver leaves that sparkled like stars. The tree's branches seemed to part, revealing a hidden entrance beneath its roots. Lyra took a deep breath and stepped inside. The tunnel was narrow and winding, but she felt a sense of calm and purpose. At the end of the tunnel, she found herself in the moonlit garden. The garden was a breathtaking sight. Moonlight bathed the flowers in soft, glowing hues, and the air was filled with the fragrance of rare blossoms. The garden seemed to be alive, with gentle breezes that carried the scent of flowers and the faint whisper of a distant melody. In the center of the garden stood a grand fountain with crystal-clear water that sparkled like diamonds. As Lyra approached the fountain, she noticed a delicate, silver harp resting beside it. The harp was covered in intricate engravings of flowers and stars. The melody Lyra had heard was coming from the harp, though it was faint and elusive. Lyra gently touched the harp strings, and the melody grew clearer, filling the garden with its enchanting sound. The music seemed to have a soothing effect on everything around her, the flowers bloomed more brightly, and the air became filled with a warm, comforting light. Suddenly, a soft, ethereal voice spoke from the direction of the fountain. "Welcome, Lyra. You have found the moonlit garden, and you have awakened the harp's melody. To unlock the full power of the melody and use it to heal, you must complete 3 tasks that will test your heart, mind, and spirit." Lyra nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. The voice continued, "Your first task is the trial of the heart. You must find and help a creature in need within this garden." Lyra looked around and soon noticed a small, delicate butterfly with shimmering wings tangled in a spider's web. The butterfly fluttered weakly, unable to free itself. Lyra carefully untangled the web, freeing the butterfly. It landed on her hand and looked up at her with grateful eyes before flying off into the moonlight. "You have shown great kindness," the voice said. "Now, for the trial of the mind. You must solve a riddle to reveal the true source of the melody." A stone pedestal emerged from the ground, and on it was a scroll with a riddle written in elegant script: "I can be cracked, made, told, and played. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle, thinking deeply. She recalled her grandmother's stories and her own love of music. "A joke," she answered aloud. The pedestal revealed a hidden compartment with a small, ornate key. Lyra took the key and continued her journey through the garden. "You have shown wisdom," the voice said. "Now, for the final task, the trial of the spirit. You must find the source of the melody and prove that you are worthy of its power." Lyra followed the sound of the music through the garden, arriving at a hidden grove surrounded by ancient trees. At the center of the grove was a beautiful, crystal-clear pond. The harp's melody seemed to be coming from beneath the water. Lyra took a deep breath and plunged into the pond. As she swam to the bottom, she discovered a hidden chamber with a glowing, golden chest. She used the key she had found to unlock the chest, and inside was a radiant crystal that seemed to pulse with the rhythm of the harp's melody. As she held the crystal, the melody grew stronger and more powerful. The crystal's light surrounded her, and she felt a profound sense of peace and warmth. She knew that this was the magical melody she had sought. Lyra returned to the surface, carrying the crystal with her. The garden seemed to come alive with joy, and the voice spoke once more. "You have completed the trials and proven yourself worthy. Use this melody to bring healing and hope to your world." Lyra thanked the voice and made her way back to the village. She used the crystal to create a magical melody that filled her home with a soothing, healing light. Her mother, who had been bedridden for months, awoke with renewed strength and vitality. The entire village was amazed by the transformation, and Lyra's bravery and kindness were celebrated. The moonlit garden remained a place of magic and wonder, and Lyra's story became a cherished legend, reminding everyone of the power of a pure heart and the magic that lies within the world around us. And so, Lyra lived happily ever after, knowing that the melody of the moonlit garden had brought healing and hope to those she loved. The end. Once upon a time, in a charming village named Starhaven, nestled between rolling hills in a vast, starry sky, there was a special tradition. Each year, on the longest night of winter, the villagers would light lanterns and release them into the sky, believing that the lanterns carried their hopes and dreams to the stars. One winter, however, the tradition was disrupted. On the eve of the festival, the villagers noticed something troubling. The stars, which usually sparkled brightly, were dim and flickering. It was said that the stars were losing their light because one of them, the Star of Wishes, had gone missing. The Star of Wishes was believed to be the most radiant star in the sky, granting wishes to those who were pure of heart. Without it, the villagers feared their dreams and hopes would go unanswered. Among the villagers was a young girl named Luna. Luna was known for her kind heart and adventurous spirit. She couldn't stand to see her village in distress, so she decided to set out on a quest to find the missing star and restore its light. Luna packed a small satchel with essentials, a warm cloak, some food, a lantern, and a tiny, magical compass her grandmother had given her. The compass was said to point towards what one needed most. With a determined heart, Luna ventured into the snowy forest, following the compass's guidance. As Luna walked, the compass began to glow softly, leading her to a mysterious, ancient oak tree that stood at the forest's edge. Its branches were covered in a blanket of snow, and its trunk was adorned with intricate carvings. The tree seemed to hum with a faint, magical energy. Suddenly, a wise old owl perched on a low branch spoke. To find the Star of Wishes, you must complete 3 trials. Only then will you be able to restore the star's light. Luna nodded, ready to face the challenges ahead. The owl continued, the first trial is the trial of courage. You must venture through the frosted cavern and confront your deepest fear. Luna entered the cavern, where the walls glistened with icy crystals. Inside, she faced her fear of the dark. Shadows danced around her, but Luna took a deep breath and pressed on, guided by the gentle light of her lantern. With each step, the darkness seemed to retreat, revealing the exit. She emerged from the cavern into a snowy meadow where the second trial awaited. The trial of wisdom required Luna to solve a riddle posed by a graceful, silver fox with shimmering fur. The fox asked, I have cities, but no houses. I have mountains, but no trees. I have water, but no fish. What am I? Luna thought carefully and answered, a map. The fox's eyes sparkled with approval, and a hidden path appeared, leading Luna to a beautiful, frozen lake. At the center of the lake stood a majestic, crystal palace, and within it was the final trial. The trial of compassion required Luna to show kindness to a creature in need. Inside the palace, she found a small, delicate snow sprite trapped beneath a layer of enchanted ice. The sprite's light was fading, and it looked up at Luna with hopeful eyes. Luna carefully used her lantern's light to warm the ice, freeing the snow sprite. She then wrapped the sprite in a soft cloth to comfort it. As Luna tended to the sprite, it began to glow brightly, and the palace's walls shimmered with renewed magic. The snow sprite, now revitalized, transformed into a beautiful, radiant figure, a guardian of the star. You have shown true courage, wisdom, and compassion, the guardian said. The Star of Wishes is hidden within the crystal of this palace. You must find it and restore its light. With the guardian's guidance, Luna located a glowing crystal within the palace. She carefully lifted it and noticed that it was dim and fading. She took a deep breath and made a heartfelt wish. I wish for the Star of Wishes to shine brightly again, so that our village may have hope and joy. As Luna spoke her wish, the crystal began to glow with a brilliant, warm light. The light expanded, filling the palace and the sky with a dazzling brilliance. The Star of Wishes had been found and its light restored. Luna returned to Starhaven, carrying the glowing crystal. As she entered the village, the stars above sparkled brilliantly once more. The villagers celebrated with lanterns and music, their hopes and dreams shining brightly in the night sky. The tale of Luna's bravery and the restoration of the Star of Wishes became a cherished story in Starhaven. Each year, As the lanterns floated into the sky, the villagers remembered the magic and light that had been brought back by the kind-hearted girl who ventured into the snowy forest to find a lost star. And so, under the twinkling stars and the warm glow of lanterns, Starhaven thrived, forever touched by the magic of the Star of Wishes and the courage of a young girl named Luna. Once upon a time, in a land where the sun set in colors of gold and the moon rose in hues of silver, there was a beautiful kingdom nestled beside a serene lagoon. This lagoon was known as the Moonlit Lagoon, famed for its shimmering waters that sparkled like stars under the moonlight. In this kingdom lived a kind and curious young girl named Lila. Lila loved to explore the natural wonders around her home, and she often visited the lagoon to marvel at its beauty. One night, while sitting by the water's edge, Lila noticed something unusual. A star had fallen into the lagoon, and its light was dimming. Concerned, Lila waded into the lagoon to retrieve the star. As she reached for it, a gentle voice spoke from the water. "If you wish to save the star, you must embark on a journey to restore its light. The star's magic is needed to keep the moon shining brightly." Determined to help, Lila agreed to the quest. The voice guided her to an ancient map that revealed the locations of 3 magical objects needed to restore the star's light. The objects were hidden in 3 distant places: the Crystal Cavern, the Enchanted Forest, and the Tower of Echoes. With the map in hand, Lila set off on her adventure. Her first destination was the Crystal Cavern, a mystical cave known for its dazzling crystals. As she entered the cavern, the crystals illuminated the dark, revealing a labyrinth of shimmering paths. At the heart of the cavern was a magnificent crystal pedestal with a glowing orb. However, the orb was guarded by a wise old dragon named Bramble. The dragon spoke in a deep, rumbling voice. "To claim the orb, you must answer a riddle. Only then will you prove yourself worthy." Lila listened carefully as Bramble posed the riddle. "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with wind. What am I?" Lila thought for a moment, recalling the many things she had seen and heard in her travels. "An echo," she answered confidently. Bramble's eyes twinkled with approval, and he allowed Lila to take the glowing orb. "You have shown wisdom. The orb will guide you on your journey." With the orb safely in her possession, Lila continued her quest, traveling to the Enchanted Forest. The forest was a magical place where the trees whispered secrets and the air was filled with sparkling fireflies. At the center of the forest was a grand tree with golden leaves and a hidden grove beneath its roots. In the grove, Lila found a golden acorn guarded by a playful fairy named Pippa. Pippa fluttered around Lila, saying, "To gain the acorn, you must perform a task of kindness. Only then will you prove your heart is true." Lila looked around and saw that the grove was in disarray, with fallen leaves and tangled vines. She began to clean and organize the area, arranging the leaves and untangling the vines. As she worked, Pippa watched with a smile. Once the grove was neat and beautiful, Pippa clapped her tiny hands. "You have shown kindness and care. The golden acorn is yours to take." Lila thanked Pippa and continued her journey to the final destination: the Tower of Echoes. The tower was a tall, ancient structure that resonated with mysterious sounds. Inside, Lila found a staircase leading to the top, where a mystical harp was placed on a pedestal. A graceful, ethereal figure appeared, an elegant spirit named Lyra. Lyra spoke softly. "To obtain the harp, you must play a melody from your heart. Only then will you prove your inner harmony." Lila approached the harp and began to play. She poured all her emotions into the melody, creating a tune filled with hope, joy, and compassion. The harp strings glowed with a radiant light, and Lyra's eyes shone with approval. "You have played beautifully," Lyra said. "The harp is yours, and it will help restore the star's light." With all 3 magical objects, the glowing orb, the golden acorn, and the harp, Lila returned to the Moonlit Lagoon. As she approached, the star's light was faint and flickering. Lila placed the orb, the acorn, and the harp near the star. The objects began to glow and pulse with magic. The star's light grew brighter, and soon it was shining as brightly as it had before. The moon above the lagoon also seemed to shine with renewed brilliance. The voice from the lagoon spoke again. "Thank you, brave Lila. You have restored the star's light and ensured the moon's glow will continue to guide the night. Your courage, wisdom, kindness, and harmony have saved the moonlight." Lila felt a warm sense of accomplishment and joy. The lagoon's waters sparkled more beautifully than ever, and the kingdom celebrated Lila's bravery and success. The moonlit nights became even more magical, and the legend of Lila's quest was told for generations. And so, Lila lived happily in her beautiful kingdom, always remembering the adventure that had taught her the true magic of courage, wisdom, kindness, and harmony. The end. Once upon a time, in the quaint kingdom of Eldoria, nestled between verdant hills and crystalline lakes, there was a small village named Bramblewood. The village was renowned for its cheerful inhabitants, lush gardens, and the sparkling river that wound through it. But the villagers held a secret, whispered only in the quietest corners. Beyond the forest lay the Crystal Cavern, a magical place said to house a treasure of great power and mystery. In this village lived a spirited girl named Lyra. Lyra was known for her curiosity and adventurous spirit. She loved exploring the woods and discovering hidden places, but the legend of the Crystal Cavern intrigued her more than anything. It was said that whoever found the cavern and unlocked its secrets would be granted a single, profound wish. One bright morning, Lyra's grandmother fell ill with a strange affliction that no medicine could cure. The village healer tried everything, but nothing seemed to help. Remembering the tales of the Crystal Cavern, Lyra decided she would seek out the cavern, hoping to find a cure for her beloved grandmother. With a heart full of hope and determination, Lyra packed a small bag with essentials: a loaf of bread, a flask of water, a warm cloak, and her grandfather's old compass, which had guided their family for generations. She kissed her grandmother goodbye and set off toward the forest. The forest was enchanting yet mysterious. The trees seemed to whisper secrets, and the path ahead was cloaked in shadows and light. After hours of walking, Lyra found herself at the edge of a hidden glade, where a small, ancient door was set into the base of a massive oak tree. The door was adorned with intricate carvings of mythical creatures and glowing with a soft, inviting light. Lyra pushed the door open and stepped into a narrow passage that descended gently into the earth. The walls of the passage were lined with shimmering crystals that cast a soft, multicolored glow. The deeper she went, the more the passage opened up into a vast underground cavern. At the heart of the cavern was a magnificent pool of water surrounded by towering crystals. The light from the crystals danced on the water's surface, creating a kaleidoscope of colors. On a pedestal in the center of the pool sat a crystal orb that pulsed with a warm, golden light. As Lyra approached the orb, she heard a melodious voice echo through the cavern. To claim the treasure of the Crystal Cavern, you must face the trials of the heart and mind. The first trial came in the form of a shimmering mirage. Lyra found herself in a forest identical to the one she had left, but the path seemed to twist and change with each step. The mirage tested her resolve and patience, but Lyra remained focused on her goal, following her heart's true direction. As she emerged from the mirage, she faced the second trial, a riddle posed by a wise old owl perched atop a crystal branch. The owl's eyes sparkled with ancient knowledge as it spoke. "I have keys but open no locks, I have space but no rooms. You can enter but cannot leave. What am I?" Lyra pondered the riddle. She thought of the various things that could fit the description. "A piano," she answered. The owl hooted with approval, and the path to the final trial was revealed. The final trial was a test of courage and compassion. A gentle mist filled the cavern, and Lyra saw a vision of her grandmother lying in bed, weak and frail. The mist seemed to mirror her feelings of fear and sadness. To pass this trial, Lyra had to confront her deepest fears and doubts about her grandmother's condition. Summoning her courage, Lyra stepped into the mist and spoke aloud her love and hope for her grandmother. She imagined her grandmother healthy and happy, and her heartfelt words filled the cavern with a warm, soothing light. As Lyra completed the trial, the light coalesced into a radiant figure, a guardian spirit of the cavern. The spirit spoke in a gentle, reassuring voice. "You have faced the trials with a pure heart and unwavering love. The crystal orb is yours to claim. Lyra took the orb, feeling its warmth and power. She thanked the guardian spirit and made her way back to the surface, the orb glowing softly in her hands. Upon returning to Bramblewood, Lyra carefully placed the crystal orb next to her grandmother. As the orb's light touched her grandmother, a gentle glow enveloped her, and her strength began to return. Slowly but surely, her grandmother's health improved, and she awoke feeling revitalized and joyful. The village celebrated Lyra's bravery and the miraculous recovery of her grandmother. The tale of Lyra's quest to the Crystal Cavern became a cherished story in Bramblewood, a testament to the power of love, courage, and determination. The Crystal Cavern remained a place of magic and wonder, hidden deep within the forest, waiting for those with pure hearts to seek its secrets. And in the heart of Bramblewood, under the glow of the crystal orb, the village thrived in happiness and harmony, forever grateful for the light of hope that had guided their way. In a distant kingdom, nestled between emerald hills and crystal-clear lakes, lay the village of Eldoria. It was a place of peace and prosperity, where every villager lived in harmony with nature. At the edge of this village was a quaint cottage where a young boy named Finn lived with his wise grandmother, Mora. Mora was known far and wide for her knowledge of ancient lore and magic. She often shared tales of enchanted places and mystical artifacts. The most famous of these tales was about a legendary compass, said to guide its bearer to their heart's true desire. This compass, however, was lost many centuries ago, hidden in a place no one knew. One chilly autumn evening, Mora fell ill. The village healer, a kind woman named Elara, tried her best, but her remedies were not enough. Elara suggested that they seek out the elixir of eternal light, a rare potion that could only be found in the heart of the Whispering Forest, a place rumored to be filled with magical creatures and hidden dangers. Determined to save his grandmother, Finn decided to embark on the perilous journey to find the elixir. He packed a small satchel with essentials, a map, a lantern, and a few provisions. Before he left, Mora handed him an old, ornate compass, saying, "This was once my father's. It might help you find what you seek." With a determined heart, Finn set out for the Whispering Forest. The trees loomed tall and mysterious, their branches whispering secrets in the breeze. The deeper he ventured, the more enchanted the forest became. Tiny lights flickered among the foliage, and the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of unknown flowers. As he walked, Finn encountered a curious squirrel named Nutmeg, who was busy gathering nuts. Nutmeg chattered excitedly and offered to help Finn. "The Whispering Forest is full of wonders and tricks," Nutmeg said. "I know a thing or two about this place. Follow me." Nutmeg led Finn to a clearing where a gentle brook flowed. The water was crystal clear, and its surface shimmered with an otherworldly light. At the center of the brook stood a large stone with ancient runes carved into it. Nutmeg explained that the runes were a clue to finding the elixir, but they needed to decipher them first. Finn studied the runes carefully. They seemed to form a riddle: to find the light that never fades, seek the guardian of the glade. Through trials of heart and strength you'll go, where the moon and starlight flow. With Nutmeg's help, Finn deciphered the riddle and realized they needed to find the guardian of the glade. The guardian, according to the tale, was a majestic unicorn named Leora, known for her wisdom and grace. Following the clues, Finn and Nutmeg ventured deeper into the forest until they reached a glade bathed in soft moonlight. In the center stood Leora, her coat gleaming with the light of 1,000 stars. She was surrounded by a circle of glowing mushrooms that created a path to her. Leora regarded Finn with kind eyes and said, "I have been expecting you. To find the elixir of eternal light, you must first prove your worth. There are 3 trials you must face: the trial of courage, the trial of wisdom, and the trial of compassion." Trial of courage, Leora led Finn to a dark cave where shadows danced ominously. Inside, Finn encountered a fearsome dragon made of shadows, guarding a glowing crystal. Despite his fear, Finn stood firm, using the light of the lantern to reveal the dragon's true form, a harmless illusion created by the forest's magic. By dispelling the illusion, Finn showed his bravery and passed the first trial. Trial of wisdom. The second trial took Finn to a vast maze of mirrors that distorted reality. At the center was a pedestal with a book of riddles. Finn had to solve each riddle to find his way out. With Nutmeg's encouragement and his own sharp mind, Finn solved the riddles and navigated the maze, demonstrating his wisdom. Trial of Compassion. For the final trial, Finn had to help a small, injured fawn he found at the edge of the maze. The fawn was stuck in a thorny bush. Finn carefully freed the fawn and tended to its wounds, showing kindness and empathy. Leora, witnessing his compassion, was moved and declared him worthy. With the trials complete, Leora granted Finn access to a hidden grove where the elixir of eternal light was kept. The grove was illuminated by a soft, golden light, and at its center was a crystal vial filled with a shimmering liquid. Finn thanked Leora and carefully took the vial. As he made his way back to the village, the enchanted compass guided him through the forest. The compass seemed to glow with a warm light, ensuring he found his way home safely. Returning to Eldoria, Finn brought the elixir to Alara, who prepared it for Mora. After taking the potion, Mora's health improved, and she soon recovered fully. The village celebrated Finn's bravery and the successful quest. The tale of Finn's journey became a cherished legend in Eldoria, a story of courage, wisdom, and compassion. The enchanted compass, now a treasured heirloom, was passed down through the generations as a reminder that the true magic lies within one's heart and the desire to help others. And so, Finn continued his life in Eldoria, always guided by the lessons he learned and the magical compass that had once led him through the Whispering Forest. The end. Once upon a time, in a faraway kingdom, there was a forest unlike any other. This forest was known as the Whispering Forest, where the trees spoke in hushed tones, and the winds carried the secrets of the world. It was a place of mystery, where no one dared to enter for fear of being lost forever. In a small village at the edge of the forest, there lived a young girl named Alara. Alara was known for her bravery and curiosity, always exploring the world around her with wide-eyed wonder. She had heard countless tales of the Whispering Forest, and while others shuddered at the thought of entering, Alara was fascinated. She often wondered what secrets the trees could tell, and what adventures might await those who dared to listen. One day, as Alara was gathering herbs in the meadow, she noticed something strange. The usually clear sky had turned a deep, swirling gray, and the wind had begun to howl through the village. The elders murmured in fear, saying that the forest was angry, and that something must be done to appease it. That night, as the village slept uneasily, Alara made a decision. She would venture into the Whispering Forest and find out what was causing the disturbance. Perhaps, she thought, the forest was not angry but in need of help. Gathering her courage, she set out at dawn, carrying nothing but a small lantern and her father's old cloak. As Alara entered the forest, she immediately felt the difference in the air. The trees were taller than any she had seen, their branches twisting high above like ancient hands reaching for the sky. The forest was dark, but her lantern cast a soft glow, revealing a narrow path that seemed to beckon her forward. The trees whispered as she passed, their voices like a chorus of sighs. Alara listened carefully, trying to make out the words, but they were too faint, like the rustling of leaves. She pressed on, determined to uncover the mystery of the forest. After walking for what felt like hours, Alara came to a clearing. In the center stood a massive tree, far larger and older than any other in the forest. Its bark was silver, and its leaves shimmered with an ethereal light. As Alara approached, the tree's whispers grew louder, and she could finally understand them. "Help us," the tree murmured, its voice deep and resonant. "The heart of the forest is dying, and with it, our magic fades." Alara's heart ached at the tree's words. "What can I do?" she asked, her voice trembling. The tree's branches swayed gently, and a single silver leaf floated down to Alara's feet. "Take this leaf to the heart of the forest," the tree said. "Place it upon the ancient stone, and the forest will be renewed." Alara took the leaf carefully, its surface cool and smooth to the touch. "Where is the heart of the forest?" she asked. The tree's branches pointed to a hidden path at the edge of the clearing. "Follow this path, and it will lead you there. But beware, for the path is guarded by shadows that seek to consume the light." Without hesitation, Alara thanked the tree and set off down the path. The forest grew darker as she walked. the trees closing in around her. The whispers became more frantic, as if warning her of the dangers ahead. But Alara was determined. She clutched the silver leaf tightly and pressed on. Soon, the shadows began to appear. They were formless, shifting figures that darted between the trees, their eyes glowing like embers. They whispered dark thoughts to Alara, trying to fill her with fear and doubt. But Alara remembered the silver tree's words, and she focused on the light of her lantern, letting it guide her forward. As she neared the heart of the forest, the shadows grew bolder, attempting to snuff out her lantern's light. Alara's heart raced, but she kept her gaze ahead, refusing to let the darkness overwhelm her. Finally, she reached a small glade bathed in a soft, golden light. In the center stood an ancient stone, cracked and worn with age. The shadows circled the glade, hissing and writhing, but they could not enter the light. Alara approached the stone and gently placed the silver leaf upon it. As soon as the leaf touched the stone, a brilliant light erupted from the ground, driving the shadows away. The stone began to heal, its cracks mending, and the forest around her came alive with vibrant color. The trees began to whisper joyfully, their voices like a melody. The heart of the forest had been restored, and with it, the magic of the whispering forest was renewed. Alara watched in awe as the forest transformed before her eyes. The trees glowed with an inner light, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers. The shadows had vanished, replaced by the warmth of the forest's embrace. With her mission complete, Alara returned to the village. The storm had passed, and the villagers were amazed to see the forest glowing softly in the distance. They hailed Alara as a hero, grateful for her bravery and kindness. From that day on, the Whispering Forest was no longer feared but revered. Alara's tale was passed down through generations, a reminder that sometimes, the darkest places hold the brightest light. And whenever the wind whispered through the trees, the people of the village knew that the forest was at peace, its secret safe in the hands of the one who had listened. Once upon a time, in a village nestled between rolling green hills and the shimmering lake, lived a humble weaver named Alara. Her small cottage was adorned with colorful tapestries and woven rugs, each telling a story through intricate patterns and vibrant threads. Alara was known throughout the village for her skill and kindness, but there was one thing about her that remained a mystery: she never used a pattern, and her creations always seemed to have a magical quality. One chilly autumn evening, as Alara worked by the glow of her hearth, a mysterious visitor arrived at her door. It was an elderly woman with silver hair and a robe that seemed to sparkle with stardust. The woman introduced herself as Lyra, the Dream Weaver, a guardian of dreams and keeper of the stars. "I have come to seek your help, Alara," Lyra said, her eyes twinkling with the light of countless stars. "The fabric of dreams is in disarray. A powerful dream, the Dreamweaver's tapestry, has been stolen, and the balance between dreams and reality is at risk. I believe that only someone with your unique gift can help restore it." Alara was intrigued but also apprehensive. "How can I help? I am just a simple weaver." Lyra smiled warmly. "Your talent is extraordinary, Alara. You see patterns and stories in the threads that others do not. The tapestry holds the dreams of all beings and is woven from threads of hope, love, and joy. Without it, the world of dreams is falling into chaos." Lyra handed Alara a small, silver key. "This key will unlock the portal to the dream realm. Follow the path of stars and find the tapestry. Restore it, and the balance will be restored." Alara took the key and followed Lyra's instructions, venturing into the night under a sky filled with shimmering stars. The key guided her to a hidden grove where a portal of shimmering light awaited. With a deep breath, Alara stepped through the portal and into the dream realm. The dream realm was a land of floating islands and luminous bridges, where dreams took shape in colorful, flowing mists. However, the once vibrant realm was now shadowed and disordered. Alara saw fragments of dreams drifting aimlessly, their colors dull and their patterns jumbled. Guided by the key and Lyra's instructions, Alara journeyed through the dream realm, encountering beings of wonder, whispering moonflowers, curious star sprites, and graceful dream creatures. Each guided her towards the hidden lair of the thief. Eventually, Elara arrived at a darkened cave adorned with twisted vines and a heavy, golden door. With trembling hands, she used the silver key to unlock the door, revealing a chamber filled with shimmering, stolen dream fragments. In the center of the room, atop a pedestal, lay the Dreamweaver's tapestry, now in disarray, with threads tangled and colors faded. As Elara approached the tapestry, she noticed a figure lurking in the shadows, a mischievous dream thief with eyes that gleamed like shards of glass. The thief grinned, "You are too late, Weaver. The tapestry is mine now." Elara stepped forward with resolve. The tapestry belongs to everyone. It holds the dreams and hopes of all. I will restore it. Using her weaving skills, Elara began to carefully untangle the threads of the tapestry. She worked with great care, drawing upon her innate understanding of patterns and stories. As she wove, the tapestry began to regain its vibrant colors and intricate designs, and the dream realm started to come back to life. The dream thief watched in awe as the tapestry's magic spread, healing the realm and restoring the dreams that had been scattered. Realizing the beauty and importance of the tapestry, the thief's heart softened. He approached Elara and said, "I took the tapestry out of greed and curiosity, but I see now that it holds something far greater. May I help you restore the dreams?" Elara nodded, and together, they finished the restoration. The dream realm was soon filled with renewed light and color, and the balance between dreams and reality was restored. When Elara returned to her village, she was greeted as a hero. The Dreamweaver's tapestry was placed back in its rightful place, and the village once again thrived with peaceful dreams and vibrant nights. The thief, now a reformed dream guardian, visited often, bringing with him tales of the dream realm and assisting Elara in her weaving. Lyra, the Dreamweaver, thanked Elara for her bravery and skill. "You have not only restored the tapestry but also brought harmony between dreams and reality. Your gift is truly extraordinary." Elara continued to weave, creating tapestries that inspired and uplifted all who saw them. The tale of her adventure and the restoration of the Dreamweaver's tapestry became a cherished story in Seabreeze, a reminder of the magic that lies in the threads of hope and the power of a kind heart. And so, in the village of Seabreeze, where dreams danced under the starlit sky, Elara's legacy lived on, woven into the fabric of every beautiful tapestry she created. Once upon a time, in a land where the seasons danced in harmony, there was a hidden grove deep within the heart of an ancient forest. This grove was said to be enchanted, its magic woven into the very fabric of the trees and flowers. It was a place of great beauty and mystery, known only through whispers and legends. In a nearby village, there lived a kind and curious girl named Elara. She had always been fascinated by the stories of the enchanted grove, which were told by the elders as tales of wonder and magic. One day, as she walked through the village market, Elara overheard a conversation about a dire problem affecting the forest. The magical creatures of the grove were losing their magic, and if it continued, the forest would fall into darkness. Determined to help, Elara decided she would journey to the enchanted grove and find a way to restore its magic. She packed a small satchel with essentials, some bread, a flask of water, and a lantern, and set off towards the forest. Her heart was full of hope and bravery. As Elara entered the forest, she noticed how it seemed different from what she remembered. The leaves on the trees were dull, and the usual cheerful songs of birds were replaced by an eerie silence. Following the directions she had heard, Elara made her way through the forest, guided by a sense of urgency. After walking for hours, she arrived at the edge of the enchanted grove. The entrance was marked by two ancient stone pillars covered in glowing ivy. As she approached, the pillars parted to reveal a path lined with luminescent flowers. Elara took a deep breath and stepped into the grove. The grove was a sight to behold, but its beauty was fading. The trees, once vibrant, were now withering, and the magical creatures she had heard of were nowhere to be seen. At the center of the grove stood a grand, ancient tree known as the heart of the forest. Its branches stretched out, but its leaves were wilted and its light dim. As Elara approached the heart of the forest, she was met by a graceful figure, a beautiful fairy named Lysandra. Lysandra's wings sparkled faintly, but her expression was troubled. "Welcome, brave one," Lysandra said. "The heart of the forest is losing its magic, and so is the entire grove. To restore the grove's magic, you must complete 3 tasks that will prove your courage, wisdom, and compassion." Elara nodded, ready to face the challenges ahead. The first task was the trial of courage. Lysandra led Elara to a misty part of the grove where a deep chasm separated them from a magical crystal glowing faintly on the other side. The chasm was spanned by a narrow, swaying bridge made of vines and branches. Elara hesitated for a moment but remembered why she had come. With determination, she carefully crossed the bridge, focusing on each step. The bridge swayed and creaked, but Elara's courage saw her through. She reached the other side and retrieved the crystal. As she touched it, the mist began to clear, and the grove's colors brightened slightly. For the second task, the trial of wisdom, Lysandra guided Elara to a serene glade where a wise old tortoise named Tiberius awaited. Tiberius had a riddle for Elara: "I have cities but no houses, forests but no trees, and rivers but no water. What am I?" Elara pondered the riddle carefully. After thinking about it, she replied, "A map." Tiberius smiled and nodded. "You have shown wisdom. The next task is the trial of compassion." Lysandra then led Elara to a hidden grove where many injured and weary animals lay. The grove was in disarray, with fallen leaves and tangled vines. Elara immediately set to work, using her skills and supplies to tend to the animals, clean the grove, and bring comfort to the creatures. As Elara worked, the animals slowly regained their strength, and the grove began to heal. Flowers started to bloom, and the magical creatures began to appear, their lights growing brighter. With the final task completed, Lysandra led Elara back to the heart of the forest. The ancient tree's light began to flicker back to life as the grove's magic was restored. Lysandra spoke with gratitude, "You have shown great courage, wisdom, and compassion. The grove's magic is renewed, and the heart of the forest is whole once more." Elara felt a warm glow of satisfaction as the grove came back to life around her. The trees regained their vibrant colors, the animals danced happily, and the enchanted flowers shone brightly. Lysandra gifted Elara a small, glowing pendant as a token of gratitude. "This pendant will allow you to call upon the grove's magic whenever you need it," she said. Elara returned to her village, where she was welcomed as a hero. The villagers marveled at the stories of her adventure and celebrated the restoration of the forest's magic. The enchanted grove remained a place of wonder and beauty, and Elara's bravery was remembered for generations. And so, Elara lived happily, always cherishing the magic of the forest and the lessons she had learned about courage, wisdom, and compassion. The end. In the heart of the sprawling emerald forest, nestled among towering trees and crystal-clear streams, lay a hidden village named Leora. The village was famed for its enchanting beauty and the warmth of its people, but it was also known for a legend that spoke of a mystical lantern, said to have the power to grant one wish to someone with a pure heart. The lantern, known as the Lantern of Leora, had been lost for centuries, and many had tried to find it without success. The legend said that the lantern was hidden away in the deepest part of the forest, and only someone who truly needed it and had a heart full of kindness would be able to find it. In this village lived a brave and kind-hearted girl named Aisling. Aisling was known for her generosity and her determination to help others. She spent her days caring for the village animals, tending to the sick, and helping her neighbors in any way she could. Despite her efforts, the village had recently faced a series of hardships. Crops had failed. The river had run dry, and a strange illness had plagued the villagers. One evening, as Aisling sat by a flickering fire in her small cottage, she overheard an old story about the Lantern of Leora and its magical powers. Her heart ached for her village, and she felt a deep desire to restore its prosperity. Determined to help, Aisling decided to embark on a quest to find the lantern and bring hope back to her people. With a small bundle of supplies and a heart full of hope, Aisling set out into the Emerald Forest. The forest was known for its magical creatures and hidden wonders, but it was also filled with challenges. Her first trial was a dense fog that rolled in, making it difficult to see. Aisling carefully followed the soft glow of fireflies that seemed to guide her path through the mist. As she ventured deeper, she encountered a wise old deer named Eldon standing by a large, ancient tree. Eldon's eyes glowed with a gentle light, and he spoke in a deep, soothing voice. To proceed, you must solve the riddle of the forest. What can travel around the world while staying in a corner? Aisling thought for a moment and answered, a stamp. Eldon nodded in approval, and the way forward was revealed. Continuing her journey, Aisling arrived at a sparkling river that flowed with a magical, shimmering water. A delicate bridge made of woven vines stretched across the river, but it was guarded by a curious sprite named Pippa who fluttered above the water. Pippa smiled mischievously and said, to cross, you must share a story that brings joy and hope. Aisling began to tell Pippa a tale of how the villagers had once come together to rebuild a broken bridge, using their combined skills and strength to overcome adversity. The story was filled with hope and unity, and Pippa was so moved that she allowed Aisling to cross the bridge. As Aisling reached the other side, she followed the path illuminated by the light of the moon. The path led her to a hidden grove where the air was filled with the sweet fragrance of blooming night flowers. In the center of the grove was a large, ancient stone covered in glowing runes. Aisling approached the stone, and a soft voice spoke from within. You have shown great bravery and kindness on your journey, the voice said. The lantern of Leora lies beyond the enchanted mist. Only one with a pure heart can unveil its light. Aisling's heart raced as she followed the directions given by the voice. She passed through a veil of shimmering mist and found herself in a serene glade bathed in moonlight. At the center of the glade was an ornate pedestal upon which rested the lantern of Leora. The lantern was beautifully crafted, adorned with intricate designs and glowing softly with an inner light. As Aisling approached the lantern, she held her hands over her heart and spoke aloud, I wish for my village to be restored, for the crops to grow again, the river to flow, and for the illness to be cured. I wish for the happiness and well-being of all those who live there. The lantern of Leora began to glow brightly, and its light spread across the forest and beyond. The magic of the lantern flowed into the land, revitalizing the crops, replenishing the river, and healing the sick. The village of Leora was transformed, and the people rejoiced as their hardships were lifted and their lives returned to prosperity. Aisling returned to her village as a heroine, and her journey became a cherished tale of hope and courage. The lantern of Leora was placed in the village square, where it continued to shine as a symbol of the magic that exists in every selfless heart. The village of Leora flourished under the light of the lantern, and Aisling's story inspired others to embrace kindness and bravery in their own lives. The legacy of the lantern of Leora lived on, a reminder of the power of hope and the strength of a pure heart. Once upon a time, in a land where rolling meadows met enchanted forests, there was a magical place called Moonlight Meadow. This meadow was known far and wide for its spectacular beauty, but also for a secret that had been kept hidden for generations. At night, when the moon was full, the meadow would glow with a silver light, and magical creatures would come to dance and sing under the stars. In a nearby village lived a curious and kind-hearted girl named Elara. Elara was known for her adventurous spirit and her love for the stories her grandmother told her about Moonlight Meadow. Her greatest dream was to see the meadow's magic for herself. One evening, as the full moon began to rise, Elara decided to venture into Moonlight Meadow. She packed a small bag with essentials, a lantern, a warm cloak, and a notebook, and set off toward the meadow. Her parents had always warned her to be cautious, but Elara's determination was unwavering. As she approached the edge of the meadow, she noticed something unusual. A shimmering path of moonlight stretched out before her, leading into the heart of the meadow. With a deep breath and a hopeful heart, Elara followed the path. The meadow was even more beautiful than she had imagined. The flowers glowed with soft, silver hues, and the air was filled with the sweet scent of night-blooming plants. Elara wandered through the meadow, mesmerized by its magic. Suddenly, she heard a gentle voice calling out to her. "Welcome, traveler," said a graceful figure emerging from the shadows. It was a fairy with wings that sparkled like stardust. "I am Lyra, guardian of the Moonlight Meadow. Few have come here, and even fewer have entered the heart of the meadow. Elara introduced herself and explained her wish to experience the magic of the meadow. Lyra smiled and said, "To truly experience the magic, you must first prove your worth. There are 3 trials you must face. Only then will the heart of the meadow reveal itself to you." Elara agreed, eager to prove herself. The first trial was the trial of courage. Lyra led Elara to a grove where the shadows seemed to come alive. The grove was filled with illusions and tricks designed to scare anyone who entered. But Elara, determined and brave, faced her fears and navigated through the grove with calm and resolve. Having passed the first trial, Elara moved on to the trial of wisdom. She arrived at a clearing where an ancient stone stood, engraved with a riddle: "I speak without a mouth and hear without ears. I have no body, but I come alive with the wind. What am I?" Elara thought deeply and recalled her grandmother's stories. She remembered how the wind carried whispers and secrets. With a confident smile, she answered, "An echo." The stone glowed warmly, signaling that she had passed the second trial. For the final trial, Lyra led Elara to a beautiful but desolate part of the meadow. It was a place where the flowers had wilted, and the magic seemed to have faded. Lyra explained, "The trial of kindness requires you to restore the magic of this part of the meadow. Use your heart to heal what is broken." Elara knelt and gently tended to the wilted flowers, speaking softly to them and pouring water from her pouch. As she worked, she sang a song of hope and renewal. Gradually, the flowers began to bloom again, and the area regained its magical glow. With the final trial complete, Lyra led Elara to the heart of the meadow. There, in the center, stood a magnificent tree with silver leaves and a glowing trunk. The tree's branches seemed to reach out in welcome. "You have proven yourself," Lyra said. "The magic of the Moonlight Meadow is now yours to experience." Elara stood in awe as the tree's magic enveloped her. She felt a deep connection to the meadow and a sense of peace and wonder. The creatures of the meadow gathered to celebrate, and Elara joined them in a joyous dance under the moonlit sky. As the night drew to a close, Lyra gave Elara a special gift, a small, enchanted pendant shaped like a crescent moon. "This pendant will allow you to return to the meadow whenever you wish," Lyra explained. With a heart full of gratitude and joy, Elara made her way back to her village. She returned home with stories of the magical meadow and the trials she had faced. Her parents were amazed and proud of her bravery and kindness. From that day on, Elara often visited Moonlight Meadow, each time bringing with her a little piece of the magic she had discovered. The village thrived with the enchantment of the meadow, and Elara's adventures became legendary tales told to inspire future generations. And so, Moonlight Meadow continued to shine with its silver glow, a place where dreams and magic intertwined, and where the heart's deepest wishes could come true. The end. Once upon a time, in a hidden valley surrounded by majestic mountains and whispering pines, there was a small village called Willowbrook. The village was known for its vibrant gardens, peaceful rivers, and the enchanting tales of a mystical creature that lived in the nearby glimmering forest. The creature was known as the Moonlight Unicorn, a being of great beauty and magic that only appeared under the light of the full moon. In Willowbrook lived a brave and kind-hearted young boy named Finn. Finn had always been fascinated by the stories of the Moonlight Unicorn. He had heard that the unicorn could grant a single wish to anyone who found it, but only if their heart was pure and their intentions were true. Finn dreamed of seeing the unicorn and making a wish to help his village, which had recently been struck by a mysterious drought that threatened their crops and their way of life. One night, as the full moon rose high in the sky and bathed the valley in a silvery glow, Finn decided that it was time to search for the Moonlight Unicorn. He quietly packed a small satchel with some provisions, bread, cheese, and a flask of water, and set off toward the glimmering forest, guided by the moonlight and his unwavering determination. The glimmering forest was a place of magic and wonder. The trees seemed to shimmer with an otherworldly light, and the air was filled with the soft, melodious songs of nightingales. Finn walked carefully, following the faint glow of moonlight that seemed to dance among the trees. As he ventured deeper into the forest, Finn encountered various magical creatures. He met a wise old owl named Orla, who advised him to stay on the moonlit path and follow his heart. He also crossed paths with a mischievous fox named Felix, who tried to lead him astray but was eventually charmed by Finn's kindness and decided to help him on his quest. After what felt like hours of walking, Finn reached a serene glade illuminated by the full moon. In the center of the glade stood the Moonlight Unicorn, its coat shimmering like silver and its mane flowing with a soft, radiant light. The unicorn's eyes were deep pools of wisdom and kindness, and it seemed to glow with a gentle, welcoming aura. Finn approached the unicorn with a mixture of awe and respect. He knelt down and spoke softly, "Great Moonlight Unicorn, I have come to seek your help. My village is suffering from a terrible drought, and our crops are dying. If you could grant us a wish to bring water and save our land, we would be forever grateful." The Moonlight Unicorn regarded Finn with a thoughtful gaze. "Young one, your heart is pure and your intentions are noble. But before I grant your wish, you must prove your worthiness. To do so, you must face a challenge that tests your courage and kindness." Finn nodded, ready to face whatever challenge lay ahead. The unicorn then conjured a vision of a parched riverbed that stretched across the valley. The river, once full and flowing, was now dry and cracked. "Your challenge," the unicorn said, "is to restore the flow of this river. To do so, you must find the 3 lost gems of the river's source, one of courage, one of compassion, and one of wisdom. Each gem is hidden in a different part of the forest, and you must bring them together to restore the river's magic." Finn set out on the quest to find the 3 gems. The first gem, the gem of courage, was hidden in the heart of a dark cave guarded by a fierce, shadowy beast. Finn faced his fears bravely and, with kindness and empathy, managed to calm the beast and retrieve the gem. The second gem, the gem of compassion, was hidden in a grove where a group of injured woodland creatures were in need of help. Finn tended to their wounds, offered them comfort, and earned their trust. In gratitude, they gave him the gem. The third and final gem, the gem of wisdom, was hidden atop a high mountain peak, where an ancient, wise hermit lived. The hermit tested Finn's knowledge and insight with riddles and questions. Finn answered them with honesty and understanding, and the hermit gave him the gem. With all 3 gems in hand, Finn returned to the Moonlight Unicorn. The unicorn took the gems and placed them in a special basin in the glade. As the gems were placed, they began to glow and emanate a powerful energy that flowed through the basin and into the air. The Moonlight Unicorn used the magic of the gems to restore the flow of the river. The once dry riverbed began to fill with sparkling, clear water, flowing joyfully back to the valley. "Your bravery, compassion, and wisdom have restored the magic of the river," the unicorn said. "You have proven yourself worthy, and your village will be blessed with abundance once more." Finn thanked the Moonlight Unicorn with all his heart and returned to Willowbrook. The villagers were overjoyed to see the river flowing again, and their crops thrived with the renewed water. The drought was a thing of the past, and the village celebrated with a grand feast in honor of Finn's bravery and the magic of the Moonlight Unicorn. From that day on, the villagers of Willowbrook remembered Finn's courage and kindness, and they cherished the river that brought life to their land. The Moonlight Unicorn continued to watch over them, a symbol of hope and the magic that lies in a pure heart. And Finn, having fulfilled his quest and saved his village, lived happily ever after, knowing that true magic comes from within and that even the darkest challenges can be overcome with a brave and compassionate heart. In a realm where magic was as common as the wind, there was a hidden orchard known only to a few. This orchard, nestled deep within the misty woods, was renowned for its extraordinary fruits, each one glowing with its own unique light. The orchard was tended by a wise old guardian named Elowen, who watched over the magical trees and ensured that their secrets remained safe. The village nearest to the misty woods was called Havenbrook, a peaceful place where people lived in harmony with nature. Among its inhabitants was a young girl named Lila, known for her curiosity and her kind heart. Lila had heard tales of the enchanted orchard from her grandmother, who spoke of its fruits that could heal any ailment and grant the purest of wishes. One crisp autumn day, as Lila wandered through the forest near her home, she discovered a small, ornate key half buried under a bed of fallen leaves. The key was adorned with intricate designs and seemed to shimmer with a faint magical glow. Intrigued, Lila decided to find the lock it belonged to. Her search led her to the entrance of the misty woods, where a mysterious fog swirled around the trees. Remembering her grandmother's stories, Lila realized that the key might be connected to the enchanted orchard. Gathering her courage, she ventured into the woods. The misty woods were dense and tangled, and the fog made it difficult to see. But Lila's determination guided her through. After what felt like hours, she stumbled upon an ancient gate covered in ivy and moss. With trembling hands, she inserted the key into the lock and turned it. The gate creaked open, revealing the hidden enchanted orchard. The orchard was breathtaking. Trees with silver bark and golden leaves stood tall, their fruits glowing with vibrant colors. The air was filled with the sweet scent of blooming flowers and ripe fruits. Eloan, the guardian of the orchard, appeared from among the trees, her eyes filled with both surprise and warmth. "Welcome, young one," Eloan said. "What brings you to this sacred place?" Lila explained how she had found the key and her desire to learn about the orchard. Eloan listened intently and then said, "You have entered a place of great magic and responsibility. The orchard is in great need of your help. A prince has been lost for many years, and it is said that only the purest heart can find him. The fruits of the orchard may hold the key to his location." Lila agreed to help, and Eloan handed her a glowing fruit from a tree. "This is the fruit of clarity," she explained. "It will reveal hidden truths and guide you on your quest. Use it wisely." With the fruit of clarity in hand, Lila set out on her journey. The orchard's magic enveloped her, and she found herself in a lush meadow, bathed in moonlight. Here, she encountered a talking owl named Oswin, who had a deep knowledge of the land. Oswin informed Lila that the lost prince, Prince Eric, had been cursed and trapped in a hidden castle deep within the Shadowed Vale, a realm of perpetual twilight. To reach the castle, Lila needed to find 3 magical artifacts: the Crystal of Light, the Crown of Wisdom, and the Amulet of Courage. The first artifact, the Crystal of Light, was said to be hidden in the heart of the Whispering Glade, a place where the trees themselves were alive and spoke in riddles. Lila ventured into the glade, where the trees whispered secrets and challenges. She solved their riddles with her sharp mind and kind spirit, earning the trust of the trees. In gratitude, they revealed the location of the Crystal of Light, hidden within a shimmering pond. The second artifact, the Crown of Wisdom, was located in the Floating Isles, a series of magical islands suspended in the sky. To reach them, Lila had to navigate through a labyrinth of clouds and storms. With the guidance of her fruit of clarity and her bravery, she found a hidden staircase of clouds leading to the Floating Isles. There, she met an ancient sage who guarded the crown. The sage tested Lila's wisdom and kindness, and upon passing, he entrusted her with the Crown of Wisdom. The final artifact, the Amulet of Courage, was guarded by a fearsome dragon in the depths of the Ember Caves. The dragon, though fierce, was also wise and fair. Lila approached the dragon with respect and compassion, offering a part of her own courage as a gift. The dragon, moved by her sincerity, allowed her to take the Amulet of Courage. With all 3 artifacts in hand, Lila returned to the enchanted orchard. Eloan guided her to the entrance of the Shadowed Vale. The Vale was a realm of shadows and illusions, where darkness seemed to twist and turn. Lila used the artifacts, the Crystal of Light to dispel the shadows, the Crown of Wisdom to navigate through the illusions, and the Amulet of Courage to face her fears. Deep within the Vale, Lila found the hidden castle, its towers reaching towards the dim sky. Inside, she discovered Prince Eric, trapped in a spell of eternal twilight. Using the artifacts, Lila broke the curse, and the castle was bathed in a warm, golden light. Prince Eric awoke, grateful and amazed. He thanked Lila for her bravery and kindness. As a reward, he offered her a place in his kingdom, where she could share her wisdom and experiences. Lila declined, choosing instead to return to her village and share the magic she had discovered. With Prince Eric's guidance, Lila and Eloan returned to Havenbrook. The village celebrated her as a hero, and the enchanted fruits of the orchard brought new hope and prosperity. Once upon a time, in a quiet village nestled between rolling hills and ancient forests, there was a young girl named Lila. Lila had a special gift: she could hear the whispers of the stars. Every night, she would sit by her window, listening to their soft, twinkling voices and imagining the wonders they spoke of. The villagers admired her ability but knew little about the starry messages she received. One evening, as the sun set and the sky was painted with hues of orange and purple, Lila heard a particularly urgent whisper from the stars. "The hidden kingdom is in grave danger," the stars murmured. "Only the Star Whisperer can save it." Lila's heart raced with a mix of excitement and trepidation. She had heard legends of a hidden kingdom that lay beyond the stars, a place of magic and beauty, but she had never imagined she would be called to help. Determined to uncover the truth, Lila packed a small bag with essentials: a map of the night sky, a notebook, a lantern, and some provisions. As the first stars began to appear, Lila followed the path the stars had guided her to, a secluded forest glen with an old, ivy-covered archway. The archway seemed to shimmer with a faint, celestial light. Taking a deep breath, Lila stepped through the archway and found herself in a realm unlike any she had ever seen. She had entered the hidden kingdom. The land was filled with vibrant flora that glowed softly in the twilight. Crystal-clear rivers wound through lush meadows, and majestic castles made of stardust reached towards the heavens. The sky above was a swirling tapestry of constellations and shooting stars. As Lila explored this magical realm, she met a friendly creature, a small, silver fox with eyes that sparkled like stars. The fox introduced himself as Orion and explained that the hidden kingdom was in danger from a dark force known as the Shadow of Despair. This shadow was spreading gloom and causing the magical creatures of the kingdom to lose their powers. The only way to banish the Shadow of Despair is to find and restore the celestial crystal, Orion said. The crystal was stolen by the shadow and hidden in the enchanted caverns. It is said to be guarded by a fierce beast and protected by a series of challenging trials. Lila knew that the journey ahead would be difficult, but she was determined to help. Orion guided her to the entrance of the enchanted caverns, a majestic cave illuminated by bioluminescent plants and glowing crystals. The first trial was the trial of light. As Lila entered the caverns, she found herself in a chamber filled with mirrors that reflected dazzling beams of light. To proceed, she needed to navigate through a maze of mirrors and reach the heart of the chamber where a crystal orb awaited her. Using her keen sense of direction and her knowledge of the stars, Lila carefully followed the light beams, avoiding the illusions created by the mirrors. She reached the center and retrieved the crystal orb, which began to glow warmly, illuminating the path forward. The second trial was the trial of sound. In the next chamber, Lila encountered a series of musical instruments arranged in a complex pattern. To open the way forward, she needed to play a specific melody that would harmonize with the natural sounds of the caverns. Lila listened to the ambient sounds of the caverns, the drip of water, the hum of energy, and played the instruments in the correct sequence. The melody she created resonated through the caverns, and a hidden door slowly opened, revealing the path to the final trial. The final trial was the trial of courage. In the last chamber, Lila faced the fierce guardian of the celestial crystal, a mighty, shadowy creature with glowing eyes. The beast roared, and its presence was intimidating. Lila, though frightened, remembered the whispers of the stars and her own courage. She approached the guardian with a calm and respectful demeanor. "I come in peace, to restore balance and bring light back to this kingdom," she declared. The guardian, sensing her pure heart and noble intent, allowed her to pass. The celestial crystal, which had been hidden in a glowing pedestal, was now within reach. Lila took the crystal gently, and its light grew brighter, dispelling the darkness of the cavern. With the celestial crystal in hand, Lila and Orion returned to the heart of the hidden kingdom. The crystal's light spread across the land, lifting the shadow of despair and restoring the magic and vitality of the kingdom. The magical creatures rejoiced, and the sky above sparkled with even more brilliance than before. The queen of the hidden kingdom, a graceful figure with a crown of stars, thanked Lila for her bravery. "You have saved our realm and proven yourself to be a true star whisperer," she said. "As a token of our gratitude, we wish to offer you a gift." The queen presented Lila with a pendant containing a piece of the celestial crystal. "This pendant will allow you to visit our kingdom whenever you wish and will remind you of the light and magic within you." Lila returned to her village with a heart full of joy and a new sense of purpose. The pendant's light served as a beacon of hope, reminding her that even in the darkest times, there is always a way to bring light and healing. Her mother, touched by the magic of the pendant, began to recover, and the village celebrated Lila's courage and kindness. The Hidden Kingdom remained a place of wonder and magic, forever grateful to the Star Whisperer who had saved it. And so, Lila continued to listen to the whispers of the stars, knowing that her journey had not only saved a magical realm but had also brought light to her own world. The end. Once upon a time, in a small village nestled at the edge of a vast, mysterious forest, lived a young girl named Elara. Elara was known throughout the village for her kindness and bravery. She had a special gift: she could speak to animals, and they adored her. Despite the village's warm embrace, Elara felt a longing in her heart for adventure and discovery beyond the familiar woods. One chilly autumn evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and the first stars began to twinkle in the sky, Elara discovered an old, dusty lantern in the attic of her grandmother's cottage. The lantern was adorned with intricate designs and had a faint, golden glow. Curious, Elara polished the lantern and, as she did, a gentle puff of light escaped from its spout, forming into a shimmering figure. A delicate fairy, no taller than Elara's hand, emerged from the lantern. She wore a gown made of stardust and had wings that sparkled like moonlight on water. "Thank you for releasing me," the fairy said with a voice like tinkling bells. "I am Lyra, the guardian of wishes. For freeing me, I will grant you one wish." Elara's eyes widened with excitement. "Really? But what should I wish for?" she wondered aloud. Lyra's wings fluttered as she hovered in the air. "Think carefully, for a wish is a powerful thing. It should come from the heart." Elara pondered deeply. She thought of the village and the people she loved. She thought of the tales of the enchanted forest that spoke of hidden treasures and magical creatures. Finally, she made her wish. "I wish to discover the secrets of the enchanted forest and to bring something wonderful back for my village." Lyra's eyes twinkled with approval. "A noble wish. I will guide you on your journey. But remember, true magic lies not in what you find, but in the kindness and bravery you show along the way." With that, Lyra vanished back into the lantern, leaving behind a soft glow. Elara set out for the forest with a heart full of hope and a sense of adventure. As she entered the woods, the trees seemed to whisper to her, guiding her deeper into the heart of the forest. The enchanted forest was unlike anything Elara had ever seen. The trees were ancient and tall, their leaves shimmering with every color of the rainbow. Flowers glowed softly in the moonlight, and gentle creatures with eyes like gemstones peeked out from behind the foliage. As she walked, Elara came across a winding path of glowing stones. She followed the path until she reached a clearing with a crystal-clear pond at its center. The pond was surrounded by flowers that sparkled with a light of their own. In the middle of the pond stood a small island with a single, majestic tree whose branches were heavy with golden fruit. Elara waded into the pond, careful not to disturb the delicate flowers. As she reached the island, she saw that the golden fruit on the tree was actually a cluster of radiant, star-shaped blossoms. Suddenly, a gentle voice spoke from the tree. "Welcome, brave soul. I am Arion, the spirit of the enchanted forest. I see you have come seeking the secrets of this land." Elara, though a bit startled, stood tall. "Yes, I wish to bring something wonderful back to my village. Something that will help them and bring joy." Arion's branches swayed gracefully. "You have shown great courage and kindness by venturing into this forest. I will grant you a gift that embodies the true magic of this land." From the tree, a shimmering blossom fell into Elara's hands. It was a star-shaped flower, its petals radiating a warm, golden light. "This is a starflower," Arion explained. "Its magic can heal, inspire, and bring happiness. Take it back to your village and share its light." Elara thanked Arion and carefully placed the starflower in her satchel. As she made her way back through the forest, the creatures she had met along the way gathered to bid her farewell. They cheered and danced, their joy echoing through the trees. Returning to her village, Elara was greeted with curiosity and excitement. She shared her story of the enchanted forest and presented the starflower to the villagers. The moment the flower was placed in the center of the village square, its light spread throughout the village, filling every home and heart with a warm, golden glow. The village flourished with renewed energy and happiness. The fields grew lush, the rivers sparkled, and the people felt a deep sense of contentment. The magic of the starflower brought prosperity and joy to everyone. Elara's bravery and kindness had not only fulfilled her wish but had also enriched the lives of those she loved. She continued to explore and cherish the wonders of the world, knowing that true magic was found in the courage to seek adventure and the love shared with others. And so, the village thrived, and the legend of Elara and the enchanted lantern was told for generations, a tale of bravery, magic, and the light found in the heart. Once upon a time, in a tranquil village nestled between rolling hills and a deep, ancient forest, there was a hidden meadow known only to a few. This meadow, called Moonlit Meadow, was said to be blessed by the moon itself. Under the light of the full moon, the meadow sparkled with a silvery glow, and the flowers danced in the night breeze. It was a place of magic and wonder, where dreams were said to come true. In this village lived a kind-hearted girl named Lily. Lily loved the meadow more than anything. She would often sneak away from her chores to visit it, marveling at its beauty and the gentle luminescence that filled the night air. The villagers, though aware of the meadow's enchantment, rarely visited it, as they believed it was a place of old legends and magic. One evening, as the full moon cast its silvery light over the land, Lily noticed something unusual. The meadow's glow seemed to flicker, and a faint, sorrowful melody drifted through the air. Concerned, she followed the sound to the heart of the meadow, where she found an ancient, moonlit well. By the well, sitting forlornly, was a small, delicate fairy with wings like gossamer. The fairy was weeping, her tears falling into the well and making ripples in the water. Lily approached gently, her heart aching at the sight. "What's wrong?" she asked softly. The fairy looked up with tear-filled eyes. "I am Faye, the guardian of this meadow," she said. "The magic of the moonlit meadow is fading. An old curse has been awakened, and without the moonstone, the magic will disappear forever." Lily was determined to help. "What is the moonstone? Where can I find it?" Faye explained that the moonstone was a powerful gem hidden deep within the enchanted forest. It was guarded by a dragon named Draconis, who was once a protector of the land but had become grumpy and withdrawn. To retrieve the moonstone, Lily would need to pass 3 trials set by Draconis to prove her worth. Without hesitation, Lily set out for the enchanted forest. As she journeyed deeper into the woods, she encountered magical creatures who offered her guidance. A wise old owl gave her a map, a mischievous squirrel shared a secret path, and a kindly deer showed her the way through the dense foliage. After a long and tiring journey, Lily reached the entrance to Draconis' lair, a cave hidden behind a waterfall. As she entered, she saw Draconis, a magnificent dragon with scales that shimmered like precious gems. He eyed her with curiosity and a hint of suspicion. "Why have you come?" Draconis rumbled, his voice echoing through the cave. Lily stepped forward bravely. "I seek the moonstone to save the moonlit meadow. Please let me prove my worth." Draconis, intrigued by her courage, agreed to the trials. Trial 1, the trial of courage. The first trial was to cross a rickety, ancient bridge over a chasm filled with swirling mist. The bridge swayed dangerously with each step. Lily's heart pounded, but she focused on her goal and carefully made her way across. Her determination and courage saw her through the trial. Trial 2, the trial of wisdom. The second trial took place in a room filled with mirrors. Each mirror reflected different scenes, some of joy, others of sorrow, and some even of illusions. Lily had to find the true reflection among them. she remembered the owl's advice about looking beyond appearances and used her wisdom to choose the correct mirror, revealing a hidden door. Trial 3, the trial of compassion. The final trial was to help a magical creature in distress. In a small clearing, Lily found a young phoenix with a broken wing. Gently, she used her knowledge of herbs to heal the phoenix. The phoenix, grateful, gave Lily a feather that glowed with a warm light. Having completed all 3 trials, Lily returned to Draconis, who was impressed by her bravery, wisdom, and compassion. He handed her the moonstone, a gem that shimmered with an inner light. With the moonstone in hand, Lily made her way back to the moonlit meadow. As she arrived, she found Faye waiting anxiously. Lily placed the moonstone in the ancient well, and a brilliant light erupted from it, spreading across the meadow. The flowers glowed even brighter, and the air was filled with a sweet fragrance. The magic of the meadow was restored, and the silvery glow returned, brighter than ever. Faye, now beaming with joy, thanked Lily for her bravery and kindness. The village celebrated Lily's return, and the moonlit meadow became a place of wonder and joy for all. The villagers visited it often, and its magic continued to inspire and enchant them. Lily's story was passed down through generations, a tale of courage, wisdom, and compassion that reminded everyone of the magic that could be found in even the most ordinary of places. And so, under the light of the moonlit meadow flourished, a beacon of hope and magic in a world full of wonder. The end. Once upon a time, in a kingdom nestled between rolling hills and sparkling rivers, there was a grand castle ruled by a wise and kind king. The king had a beautiful daughter named Princess Isabella, who was loved by all for her grace and generosity. However, despite her many blessings, Isabella had one great sorrow. Her beloved mother, the queen, had vanished many years ago under mysterious circumstances. One day, while exploring the castle's attic, Isabella discovered an old, dusty mirror hidden beneath a tapestry. The mirror was ornate, framed with intricate patterns of gold and silver. As she polished it, the glass shimmered and a soft voice whispered from within. "I am the enchanted mirror," the voice said. "To find what you seek, you must embark on a quest and face 3 challenges. Only then will you uncover the truth about your mother's disappearance." Determined to bring her mother back, Princess Isabella accepted the challenge. The mirror revealed a map, pointing to a hidden forest far beyond the kingdom's borders. With the blessing of her father and the encouragement of her friends, Isabella set off on her journey, accompanied by her loyal horse, Starlight. As Isabella ventured into the mysterious forest, she marveled at its beauty. The trees were tall and ancient, their leaves glistening like emeralds. The air was filled with the songs of magical creatures, and the path was illuminated by glowing fireflies. The first challenge was the trial of courage. Isabella came across a dark, foreboding cave guarded by a fierce, magical lion with a mane that sparkled like the night sky. The lion roared, and the cave's entrance was surrounded by swirling mist. Though scared, Isabella approached the lion and spoke bravely. "I seek to find the truth about my mother. Please let me pass." The lion, sensing her sincerity and bravery, softened. "You may enter, but you must face the cave's darkness and find the hidden crystal within. Only then will you prove your courage." Isabella ventured into the cave, using a small lantern to guide her way. She navigated through twisting tunnels and avoided treacherous traps. At the heart of the cave, she discovered a glowing crystal resting on a pedestal. As she touched the crystal, the cave was filled with light, and the lion nodded in approval. The second challenge was the trial of wisdom. Isabella arrived at a serene, enchanted glade where a wise old owl perched on a high branch. The owl presented her with a riddle: "I can fly without wings. I can cry without eyes. Wherever I go, darkness follows me. What am I?" Isabella pondered the riddle, thinking deeply about its meaning. After a moment of contemplation, she answered, "A cloud." The owl hooted in delight, and a hidden path appeared, leading her to the final challenge. The third challenge was the trial of compassion. Isabella found herself in a magical meadow where many animals, from tiny mice to majestic deer, were in distress. The meadow had been affected by a long, harsh winter, and the animals were hungry and cold. Without hesitation, Isabella used the supplies she had brought to care for the animals. She shared her food, built shelters from nearby branches, and used her warmth to comfort the creatures. As she worked, the meadow began to glow with a warm, golden light, and the animals' spirits were lifted. With the trials complete, the enchanted mirror appeared before Isabella, its surface reflecting a vision of her mother. The mirror revealed that her mother had been captured by a wicked sorceress who had hidden her away in a distant, enchanted tower. Guided by the mirror's directions, Isabella and Starlight journeyed to the enchanted tower. The tower was tall and covered in thorns, surrounded by a magical barrier. With courage and determination, Isabella approached the barrier and used the wisdom and compassion she had gained from the trials to find the key to the barrier's lock. Inside the tower, she found her mother, who was overjoyed to see her. The sorceress, realizing that Isabella's love and bravery had broken her spell, fled into the shadows, never to be seen again. Isabella and her mother returned to the castle, where they were welcomed with great joy and celebration. The kingdom rejoiced at their reunion, and the enchanted mirror's magic was restored to its place in the castle, a reminder of the power of love and perseverance. Princess Isabella's bravery and kindness were celebrated throughout the land, and her mother's return brought new hope and happiness to the kingdom. The enchanted mirror remained a cherished artifact, a symbol of the quest that had reunited a family and proven the strength of the human heart. And so, Princess Isabella lived happily ever after, knowing that with courage, wisdom, and compassion, even the most challenging quests could be overcome. The end.